module is the management module. That's the module that the administrator will go in, add users, give them usernames, passwords, and add courses to them, make managers, and add users to managers. That's the first module we'll go through. Due to length, I've broken this up into two different segments. The second module, which will be presented on another video, is the tracking module. With this module, the manager can go in and see what courses that a user has logged into, how they're progressing through the courses, if they've taken tests, what their scores are, and how they're progressing. In reality, the first module, the module we're going to go through right now, is the workhorse. The next module, the tracking module, is very interesting, really cool, but for the most part, you're going to be using the first module here. So with that said, let's get started here. I sent you a link to your personal or your company's personal administration module when you signed up. If for any reason you have lost that link, forgot it, send me an email and I can resend it to you. But with that link, it will take you to a page like this, and this is your company's own administration module. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on Maintain Users, because this is where you're going to sign up new users. The first thing I recommend to do is sign yourself up as a user so we can progress. So we'll go ahead and click Maintain Users. Now, if you are just going into your site for the very first time and no one else has been in there, you will not see the box, drop-down window box where it says actual name, username, because you don't have any users in there. You will not see the Edit Users course assignments because, again, you don't have any users to edit. So what we'll do right now is we're going to click on Create New User. It'll bring you up to a page that looks like this. Now, I got a lot of red arrows here. Sorry for that. But hopefully it'll help us kind of know where we're going here. The first thing, the username. You make this up yourself. The one caveat here is it has to be unique. The username has to be unique not only for your company, but for the entire database, the entire Fortune University database. So if you put in there as a username, George, you'll go through the thing and you'll click Submit, and it'll bounce back and say probably George has already been used. So just go ahead and create a username that's unique. Now, how do you do that? You're going to hear this over and over as I go through here. I like to make this as simple on the manager, on the site manager, as possible. So what I like to do, instead of just trying to come up with Bluebird, Bluebird G, or whatever, I take the learner's first name and last name, I put them together. Very seldom, like with myself, you're going to find George Lane being used by someone else. So that's, now you can use clock numbers or whatever you like, but I say use first name, last name, and that usually will work. The password does not have to be unique. You could use the same password for everyone. There isn't an advantage to that necessarily, but again, making my life simple, I use the same password as I use for the user's name, because Jim Jones is going to come back to you 6 months from now and ask you, I forgot my password. What is it? You go, it's Jim Jones, and it makes life simple. It is not case sensitive, so it doesn't make any difference how you enter it in. It is not case sensitive. First name, that sounds kind of simple, but what it is, at the end of every course, there is a test. They call it an assessment, but there's a test. When the learner completes this satisfactorily, you, as the manager, will get an email notifying you that the user has passed the test, and here's his score, and there will be an attached full-color certificate already made out with the user's name, course assignment, and score, and everything on it. Now, if you have someone in the shop that everybody knows by Skip, but his real name is Oscar, whatever you put here as first name will be coming out on that certificate. So if you want the certificate automatically printed with Skippy, that's fine. But if you want Oscar, put that in there. Last name, that's pretty simple. The only other thing that I can say here is if you want to put a middle initial in, like for George, you put George space E, or if it's a junior or senior, you go Lane, in my case, space junior or senior. The next category is the email. This is something that I really don't like about this system. This is a mandatory field. You have to put an email address in there. Now, the reason I find that uncomfortable sometimes is you will be signing up users that possibly do not have a corporate email account. They have private email accounts, but they may or may not want to share that with you. So what I do in cases where they don't have a corporate email account or one I don't know, I put my own email address in there. Now, the bad part about that is if the system is set up that if you put the learner's email address in there, when they complete the course, you as a manager will get an email saying George Lane just passed. And George Lane, as a user, would also get an email saying that he passed. Now, the system automatically, when you push submit for the test, tells the learner that he has passed, he or she has passed, but it does not give a hard copy printout. If you have his or her email address in there, they will also get an email. If you have put your email address in there, you will get 2 emails, one for yourself and one that was supposedly directed to the learner. First few times it comes through, you'll get a little confused saying, boy, George Lane just passed 2 tests right in a row. And you'll get used to knowing that that's not the case. So use whatever system you want there. Social Security number, because there are many eyes that have access to this beyond us, I ask you not to put Social Security numbers in there. Coming down there for Arrow 2, as you would scroll down, which we're using a virtual site here, we can't scroll, is the list of currently all 109 courses that are in the Forging University. So you can scroll down and look at each one of them. Arrow 3 tells you how many seats you have available in each course. And in your case, you have 1,000 seats that you can sign users up to. Arrow 4 tells you how many people you have assigned to that course. Column 5 is one way that you can sign users. You can scroll down and say, well, okay, George, I think he could use Coaching Illustrated. But, he's not in sales, so we're going to skip that. But, we'll go down here and give him this one and this one. You can go down through all 109 courses if you choose to, one at a time, and check or uncheck if they've already completed that course. Column 6 is really not in use because it was set up initially for less seats. In other words, we would give a company maybe 25 seats in each one of these courses, and then that would rely on you, the manager, to when somebody finished the course, take that away from them so you could be allowed to give it to someone else. But seeing that you have 1,000 seats available, we didn't feel that you needed to put an expiration date on it. So you can give a person all 109 courses if you choose to, and they can have it from here to eternity if you want to. So now right now we're going to virtually scroll down the page, and at the bottom you'll see arrow 1 says assign all. If you chose not to go down one box at a time checking, and you just want to assign all 109 courses to them at one time, you just click assign all. Now the goods and bads about that. The good part about that is you as a manager, it makes your life easier and actually makes the learner's life easier. Every time he or she finishes a course, they don't have to hunt you down, knock on the door, see you in a meeting, come back an hour later, back and forth. They have access to all courses at one time. So you sign them up, and pretty much you can forget them until you get a notification that they have passed a test. You do not get notifications when people do not pass tests when they fail a test, only when they pass. So the bad side about this, though, is if somebody has 109 courses, maybe the importance isn't there. If you assign them 2 courses at a time and say, when you get finished with these courses, come back, there is an incentive. There's an added value added to that course. But there's pros and cons. So once you have either checked Assign All or gone down and checked 1 or 2 courses to give them, you click Add User. As you'll see, arrow 1, it tells you the last action you took was to create a new user, and in this case was George Lane, and you're finished. You have added everything that you wanted to do on that. But if you want to go in and edit a user's course, why or how would you do that? You might want to do it because you assigned them 1 or 2 courses, and now you want to go back and assign them a couple more courses, or they're no longer with the company and you want to restrict their access to the Forging University. Or what also happens quite often is Jim will walk in and say, I forgot my password. And again, you don't want to have to keep track of them yourself. So what you'll do is in the drop-down menu, which is now there because you've added at least 1 employee, their first name will be there, their actual name, which actually is last name, first name, and then their username there. So if they've forgotten their username, it shows right there from the drop-down menu. If they forgot their password and you use a different password than username, then you need to go in deeper, which I'm going to show you here. So what you do from the drop-down menu, you would highlight their name, and then you click Edit Users Course Assignments, which would take you to a page that looks very similar to the first page that we looked at. There is a common theme going through here. I think they did a nice job on this. Once you've kind of gotten into it, you'll see there's the template is kind of carried throughout the system. So as you'll see in the upper left-hand corner, it says George Lane as a user's name. And the password is there. So if you've forgotten their password, you can click on it because you know their name from the previous page, and this will give you the password. You can change their password. You can change their first and last name. Maybe you have an individual who has gotten married and have hyphenated their name or want to put a junior, senior, whatever. You can change your email address. Again, we're skipping the Social Security number. We're going down to account enabled. You got a yes or no. That's a toggle. The default is the account is enabled when you first set them up. But let's say they've left the company and you no longer want them to have access. From this, you would toggle that and you would click no. Scroll down the virtual page. Once you've made all the changes, adding programs, subtracting programs, or whatever, you click Update User's Account. Takes you back to the page. That's all there is to adding a user. But right now, the user does not have a manager. If they pass a test at this point, no one will get notified that they passed a test. So you got to create yourself as a manager. Now I'm skipping Maintain Courses here and go to Manager Administration. So you click on that. It brings you to a page. If this is the first time anyone has entered into your course, you're not going to see a Delete Manager or Assign Users to Manager because there are no managers to operate with. So the first thing you're going to do is Add Manager. You click on that. If you have more than 1 user, you are going to get a complete list of all of your users here. You can have more than 1 manager. The front office person can be a manager. The die set a supervisor can be a manager. Most companies just have 1 manager to save confusion. But you can scroll down your complete list of users, find the person you want to make a manager, and I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Click the box, Add Manager. Now, one of the things I want to kind of point out here as well, you'll see there's several people. You'll see a John Lane, a Maggie Lane. I got my granddaughters here who have different last names. I have signed them up. You have 1,000 seats. If you want to sign this up as a value-added family service for your employees, you may do that, as long as you don't go over the 1,000-seat limit, which I question you will. So once you have, in this case, once you've signed up your manager, you go down, arrow 2, and click Create Manager. And you're back. Now the drop-down menu is there. Your name will be there as a manager or whoever that you have added there. Now if you want to delete a manager, you'd hit Delete Manager. If you want to add another manager, you do that. But now you're a manager, but you don't have any learners assigned to you yet. That's the next step. So you highlight the manager's name, and then you click Assign Users to Managers. Again, the reoccurring template here. Here comes a complete list of all of your people that you have signed up. So if you sat down and signed up 25 people at one time, you come in here, go to this module, and you can assign all 25 of those people to you at one swoop. All you would do is you could go down and check one box at a time, or you could scroll down to the bottom, click arrow 1, Assign All, and click Update. And all the learners are now assigned to you as a manager. So again, what we're talking about here is really quick. Now, the one nav button that I skipped earlier is Maintain Courses. Let's say you've got yourself 125 people signed up, you're feeling good, all the work is done, you've given them all 109 courses, you're not going to have to be involved with it anymore. And then I send you an email and I say, guess what? We just added a new course. Now again, you remember, you have to add the courses to the users. They don't automatically, it's in the library, but it's just like a library. You have to assign that course to them. And by the way, we are working on a course right now that should be out soon. So I send you an email and you go, do I have to go back to all 125 of those people and assign them one course at a time? And the answer is no. You click Maintain Courses, which will take you to this page here. From the drop-down menu, arrow 1, will be a complete list of all of the courses that are available, including the new one. So you'll highlight that one. In this case, we're going to say Coaching Illustrated, and you click Assign. Again, same theme, users' names on the left, check boxes on the right. So you either scroll down one at a time and add this new course to them, or you scroll down to the bottom of the page and you click Assign All. That fills in all the check boxes. Then you click Update Courses, and you have added that single course to 125 users at one time. Or you've added that new course to one user, however you want to do that. So in this module, you sign up users, give them username, passwords, you assign courses to them, you create managers, you assign learners to yourself or other managers. Once you've got that set up, it's kind of automatic from that point on. The only other recommendation I have here is when you go out of this module, I recommend that you click Log Out rather than just closing it out. You don't do any permanent damage by just closing it out, but if you go back in, or the next time you go back in, the first time, sometimes it'll say system is timed out or something. You have to close it and then go back in again. Again, it just costs you a couple extra minutes when you go in there, but it's easier if you just click Log Out. So that is this module. Now, in the next PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to get into the tracking module. But for right now, that's it. If you have any questions, you know my name, address, phone number, email address. Feel free to give me a buzz, shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. Thank you.